M ingested MDA, 110 mg, a white powder in a transparent gelatin capsule. At the same time, B ingested MDA, 120 mg. Both pills came from the same source. M had a body weight of about 140 pounds. As did B at T+30 minutes. B lay on a bed, wide awake, eyes open, and described herself as being overwhelmed. But M felt no strong effects, other than some mild jitters. M worked with a computer chassis, involving small screws and a small screwdriver, and did not find the presence of MDA to hinder dexterity or mental clarity of the task at hand. This continued until about T+45 minutes. Between T+30 minutes and T+45 minutes, M experiences what might have been olfactory hallucination. He detected the smell of cooking artichokes. B did not have any such sensation. At T+1 hour, M found herself in roughly the same physical condition that B found herself in at T+30 minutes. Lying on a mattress, wide awake but physically overwhelmed and writhing. M found herself writhing slowly. The physical sensation was visceral and sensual. Thoughts were simple and inwardly directed, and there was not a strong desire to have conversation. This is meant to be compared to MDMA, which is quite different subjectively. MDMA has a sensual element, but also facilitates social contact, especially conversation. Also, the physical sensations under MDMA, while sensual, are less visceral and sexual than those of MDA. Although M felt his tactile senses enhanced, and the idea of having sex was appealing, M was too mentally unfocused and physically incapacitated to pursue this. The level of physical incapacitation was such that it was possible, with considerable expression of volition, take a drink of water, get up and walk around, change the CD, change clothes. However, these acts required a bit of concentration and occurred under a slight mental fog, similar but distinct from, e.g., the effects of THC. The comparison to THC is fairly poor since THC renders the subject far less alert and foggy, but there is a similarity in the extra effort involved in concentrating to accomplish even simple goals, such as walking across a room to fill a glass of water. From T+1 hour to T+4 hours, the experience seemed to be about level. More sitting or lying around, with some mild writhing, some sexual thoughts, etc. M experienced no nausea or dizziness. B was quite dizzy during most of the experience. During this time from T+1H to T+4H, M found herself in either a state of heightened sensuality or intense emotional depression. The period lasted for several minutes at a time. During the periods of emotional depression, the physical incapacitation was diminished, but motivation was low due to the depression. In response to the strong depressive feelings, M took 100 mg 5-HTP and some St. John's wort, which may not have been a good idea. Background note about M. M is neither very likely nor very unlikely to vomit. M has not ever experienced motion sickness, for example, and in situations where others, on the same dose of a substance, were likely to vomit, M had about a 50% chance of vomiting. M has never vomited due to any dose of MDMA, despite some mild temporary nausea at the beginning of those experiences. In all of the situations where M has vomited, whether from drugs or illness, there has always been a long duration of severe nausea, an hour or more, and usually, the vomiting was induced from a desire to halt the nausea. I.e., vomiting is rarely spontaneous. At T+4.5 hours, M was sitting on the floor, mostly stationary. Suddenly, without warning or nausea, M felt a powerful and somewhat painful urge to vomit, as though M had been punched in the stomach very hard. M rapidly stood up and took about 4 or 5 steps toward another room, and vomited. The heaves soon ended. M experienced no significant nausea afterward until about 2 hours later, when some brief period of mild nausea came and went. The vomiting episode brought a heightened awareness and alertness for about 30 minutes, but that level of mental stimulation gradually wore off, and M lay down in bed to rest. Although not moving, M found it difficult to sleep. Muscle tension was significant but not overwhelming. As late as T+12 hours, M still found it difficult to sleep, and spent the next day in a tired but sleepless state. M felt low on energy, probably partly because M had not eaten since before ingesting the MDA. M ate some food and felt better, but was unable to eat much food since M's appetite was noticeably suppressed. At T+22 hours, M finally fell asleep, and slept for quite a while. The next day, Maybe T plus 36 hours, M's energy level was still lower than usual. But M's appetite came back strongly.